Hello and welcome back. Today I'm discussing Germany's growth prospects and the country's trade and political relationship with the rest of Europe, in particular looking at the UK. I would like to welcome Andreas Kappeler, economist at OECD, joining us today down the line to give us his insights. During the first 2 years of the Eurozone crisis, Germany has been doing pretty well, but growth did slow last year and the economy shrank 0.6% in the fourth quarter. Andreas, is growth in Germany still improving?
That's true. GDP was contracting at the end of last year, but the OECD has projected GDP to recover throughout 2013, slowly at the beginning, and then increasing in the course of the year. Overall, for 2013, we expect GDP to grow by 0.6%. If you look at the Ifo Business Climate Index, you also see that it has improved recently over the past few months. So this also shows that the outlook is becoming better in Germany. And then, of course, we are still in the low interest rate environment, which is expected to support domestic demand and will help rising imports and reducing the current account surplus. So overall, we expect GDP to recover in the course of the year after the slump that we have seen at the end of 2012.
Are consumers in Germany filled with more spending confidence now? Do you expect wages to rise in the next few months?
If you look at the consumer confidence indicator that's published by the European Commission, you see that it has improved during the last few months. You should also keep in mind that it has declined in the second half of 2012. So now it's back to its long-term average, meaning that consumers are okay, but there's some room for improvement, obviously. The OECD expects private consumption to grow by 1.4%. As I mentioned, we expect GDP to grow by 0.6%. So private consumption should grow faster than GDP overall, meaning that we expect private consumption to have an important role in the recovery during 2013. As to the wages, rising wages would be one possibility how Germany could contribute to rebalancing inside the Eurozone. The EU periphery has to gain competitiveness towards the countries that are currently strong in terms of economic performance, and Germany is one of these countries. So rising wages in Germany are one possibility, and in fact this discussion we see picking up. So we do see some potential for wages to increase in the next few months, and we believe that this would be also one way to help rebalancing in the Eurozone.
Do you feel Germany could be better supported by other countries within Europe, such as the UK? Could the UK and Germany work together to help solve Europe's problems?
From the perspective of Germany, the euro area crisis is, we in the OECD believe, is one of the main risks for the outlook of German growth. Germany is export dependent, so it obviously depends a lot on how things evolve inside the Europe and the European Union. Of course, we hope that the EU countries work closely together, and in fact they have. There are many challenges ahead. We need a full banking union, and especially in this respect, because this is something that does not only concern the euro area, but the European Union. Germany and the United Kingdom should and could closely work together. But we also have other challenges, such as the ongoing fiscal consolidation, where we need agreement on how to move on. There are also important feedback effects between the banking sector, government debt, the sovereign bond yields, and all this, of course, has an impact on confidence on investors and on the markets. And in all this, we need a coordination on EU level, and we need cooperation between EU countries. So I think this is something that concerns all EU countries, and Germany and UK, as one of the biggest members of the European Union, should of course take a lead role.
Has last month's inconclusive election in Italy left anxiety in Germany?
Yeah, uncertainty about the election in Italy is, of course, a concern. I'm sure you also heard about the waves in the media going on in Germany, in Italy, the discomfort in the media on both sides. But in fact, I mean, this is, I think, an issue that concerns Germany as much as any other member in the European Union. So far, Italy has done well quite in implementing structural reforms, in boosting growth, and in going on with this fiscal consolidation. And I mean, it's in the interest of Germany as much as in the other EU countries' interest that Italy moves on with these reforms, that it continues its budgetary reforms. Of course, going forward, this may also imply that there is some further downward pressure on employment, so that the situation will become tougher. In this respect, we have to see, I mean, how the new government is able to continue. The OECD so far has based its projections, it's -1% of GDP in Italy, on its fiscal achievements. And of course now everything is in question because we do not know when we will have a new functioning government in place and how it will perform. So I believe this is a question as much for Germany and for people on the street in Germany as anywhere else. It may appear that this is more of an issue in Germany because it appeared in the media, but after all, I think Italy's performance is important for Germany, for the European Union, and so the government should be quickly implemented and fully functional.
Lastly, Andreas, do you expect to see growth in Germany strengthen as the year progresses?
Yeah, I mentioned already that the OECD believes GDP to expand by 0.6% of GDP in 2013. For comparison, in 2012 it was a little bit higher, around 0.9%. But as you mentioned already, there was this slump at the end of 2012. So there will be a slow recovery, we believe, which will go on in 2014. For 2014, we expect close to 2% of GDP growth. And we believe that this growth will be partly driven by private consumption, which will increase by the growth rate will be higher than for GDP overall, but also for investment, which growth rate we also expect to be higher than the growth rate of GDP overall, which is a good thing because, I mean, investment is of course important to return to a sustainable growth path for Germany.
Thank you to Andreas Kappeler there for his insights and opinions today. Make sure you keep clicked to Dukascopy TV for all the latest updates.